how do you know? And this comes from essentially reading the order flow, right? So now as price comes in to this level, what we see over here is we see kind of a lot of low volume up here. So this low volume here indicates a lack of interest for these higher prices at that particular time. That's important to understand. Now, as we come into this area, one thing I find fascinating is that as we came into here, we had a lot of blue delta. Now, when we see blue delta, the blue delta is positive delta. So these are aggressive buyers that are trying to drive price up. But did they succeed? Right? Did those aggressive buyers succeed? Well, they didn't, right? Because this zone got broken, right? We see how price at around, I believe this was before 10 a.m. Eastern time, price came and really broke through this zone, right? One thing I should bring to people's attention as well is look at all this blue delta over here, right? So this is the blue delta. So this is a wick. So when we break down this candle, we see the body is over here and this is the wick. So the candlestick alone will not give you information about what's going on with the wick. Okay, so the wick essentially shows us that we have a lot of blue delta. In fact, if you read the order flow, we have 0 for 188, right? We have 0 for 279. So we see a lot of aggressive buyers in that wick. But were those aggressive buyers successful? No, those aggressive buyers were not successful. And this is what shows us that this is now a demand zone that's flipped to a supply zone. So this is a supply to demand flip zone, or in this case, a demand to supply flip zone. Again, we see in this zone, we see a lot of blue delta coming in. We see 8 for 48. So what that means is that there's effectively 5 times more aggressive buyers than there are aggressive sellers. So for every one aggressive seller, there's 5 aggressive buyers. And despite their buying, strength and their buying kind of efforts, they were not being rewarded. So when you see aggressive buyers that are not being rewarded and price heads downwards, this is a very strong indication that you should be looking for buys because there are passive sellers that are kind of absorbing those aggressive buy orders.